This is Redragon's latest gaming mouse, the M612 Predator. Believe it or not, it comes with a price tag of just $18 US, which means it's clearly aimed at the ultra low budget friendly segment of the market. So if you've got just 20 bucks in your pocket and you need a new gaming mouse, this one might be for you. It looks like Redragon stopped shipping their mice in plastic cases and opted instead for just a traditional cardboard box. Inside, you'll find a red and white logo sticker, a really basic one-page instruction sheet, and the M612 mouse. First impressions? Not bad actually. It feels solid and well made in the hand, which is surprising for a mouse that's at such a low price point. But I will say, it's definitely not lightweight. I threw it on a scale and it weighed in around 110 grams, and these days most people would consider anything over 100 grams to be pretty heavy. So it's safe to say the M612 is not going to attract any gamers that are after the lightest weight design. The cable's 1.8 meters long and it's braided fiber, which is nice to have, but unfortunately it's really stiff, so that means it's going to be noticeable when it drags across your desk. If you're somebody that has a lot of stuff sitting on your desk around where your mouse cable is, then you might want to consider using a bungee with this one. It's around 126 millimeters long, 75 millimeters wide, and around 40 millimeters tall, and you can tell right away that it's clearly designed for right-handed users. It's designed with the highest and widest areas towards the back, and there's a really pronounced flare that keeps your thumb supported. It's actually a really comfortable design, and in fact, I'd rate the comfort better than my Viper Ultimate, and that mouse costs like 10 times more. The shape also makes it pretty easy to grip with fingertips or a full palm, so as long as you're right-handed, the M612 should be a comfortable mouse regardless of your grip style. They used a matte finish on the main body that's smooth and it almost has a soft feel to it, and then there's some glossy accents around the buttons and on the sides. It's a nice looking mouse, and that's especially true when you start to consider the low price. RGB runs along both edges and also lights up the scroll wheel and the logo on the back. It adds some nice color and helps the mouse stand out a bit, but it's really not the greatest implementation of RGB. The lighting just seems inconsistent, with some areas dimmer than others. Still though, it's better than nothing, and there's a few preset effects that you can choose from. The left side has 2 thumb buttons, and the one in front has some tactile bumps to help you find the right button without making any accidental presses. There's also a soft rubbery grip on this side as well. The scroll wheel has a grippy rubber texture, and it's also a button if you press straight down. Right on top, there's 3 small buttons that by default control the DPI and the lighting modes. The front left corner has a small rapid fire button. Pressing it will initiate a fast triple click by default, and the main left and right buttons feel pretty responsive and they have a durability rating of 10 million clicks. Underneath, there's some low friction feet, and these do a pretty good job at helping the mouse glide around on a mouse pad, but they're not quite as slick as the big PTFE feet that we see on higher end gaming mice. Tracking's done with a Pixart 3104 optical sensor with 15G acceleration and 8000 DPI, which I think should be more than enough for most gamers out there. And there's also a small profile button down there as well that'll allow you to change all your custom settings without having to go into the software. Configuring profiles, adjusting the DPI, and customizing buttons can all be done through a free software app that you can download from Redragon's website. Redragon's software is not really the most user-friendly, and there's a delay when you go to apply settings that can be kind of annoying sometimes. Overall, it's just not that fun to use, and it's one area where I'd like to see them improve in the future. But the good news is, once you get everything set up and configured, you can actually use the buttons that are right on the mouse to change the DPI, adjust the lighting, and even switch between profiles, so you don't actually have to spend all that much time in the software. Now, how does this $18 gaming mouse perform? Surprisingly good, actually. When I'm testing mice, I like to play shooter games because they tend to be fast-paced and they should make it easy to notice any flaws. Playing some old-school competitive UT 2004, the M612 held up the entire time without any skipping, lagging, or spinouts. I felt like I was able to land shots even though it's a lot heavier than what I'm used to. As expected though, the biggest downside was that stiff cable dragging around and bumping into my monitor stand, but like I said, that can be easily fixed with a bungee. At the end of the day, not everyone has a ton of money to drop on new gaming peripherals, and actually, even some people that do might not want to spend a ton of money on that kind of stuff right now anyways. So it's always nice to have options like the Redragon M612 that offer gamers enough performance and the basic features and a decent build quality at a really affordable price. In this case, just 18 US dollars, which I think is pretty outstanding for what it's offering. So I'm gonna have the purchasing links down in the description of this video for anybody that's interested in picking one of these up. If you do pick one up, make sure you leave us a comment and tell us what you think about it, and get subscribed so you don't miss any upcoming content. And we'll see ya.